Hello everyone, Felipe here again here with Daniel. We're going to keep working here in the escapes and counters from side control. Okay, let's start already everyone. Nice to see you. Moving the head sideways. Up and down. Circling the head everyone. Both sides. The other arm in the hips. Okay, one. Dropping on the floor and bridging, sometimes inside. And hip escaping, sometimes inside, people. And as we've explained 2 classes ago, turning to the right, stepping with the left in front of the knee, elevating the hip, coming back, turning to the left, stepping with the right foot, extending the leg, and elevating the hip. One side, and up, and turn to the other side, and up, 10 times each side, everyone. Going for the Turkish kebab motion, that means I want to push my opponent to my left, so left elbow and left knee drop. I'm going to push my opponent away, elevate my hip to get some momentum. Same thing to the other side. I want to push my opponent to the right, right knee and right elbow drop on the floor, pushing my opponent away to the direction of my knee, hip up. Okay, once to the side, the same to the other side, 10 times each side, everyone. And rolling back and forth over the shoulder, either landing on the knee, rolling forward over the shoulder, rolling backwards, landing on the hip, for example, and forward again. Up to you, on the knee, on the hips, both. Your guys choose, 5 times each side, back and forth, and we're gonna go to the partner drills. Okay, people, so we're going to do the drill of the position that we saw 2 classes ago. Situation that I'm gonna start here with my crosses. Dania is going to bring her hand under my chin, pushing my head towards the hip. She's gonna fit the other arm in front of the hip, and here, since I'm on the right side, Dania is going to hip escape towards her left. She's going to place her shin in front of my hip, placing her guard back. And from here, just for the sake of the exercise, Dania is gonna let me pass, so I'm gonna push her leg away. I'm gonna direct myself to the side control, placing the same control I had before, and she's doing the same, pushing the head, pushing the hip escape, regarding, and here I pass it again, go to the side, she pushes the head, the hip, escape, put the guard back, and we're going to be working like this. Okay, so we're going to do 1.5 minutes on one side, then we switch, do the same on the other side for 1.5 minutes, and then the person who's on the bottom get on top, and again, 1.5 minutes on one side, 1.5 minutes on the other side, and you're gonna move forward to the other exercise. Let's go, people. Okay, everyone, and now we're going to do the other one that we saw, okay, 2 classes ago. If you're not familiar, check it out, the explanation we did. Same thing, then it's going to start with the cross face. I'm going to start pushing her head to the side, and I'm going to bring my hand here behind her legs, and I'm going to push the foot that is close to my hip, so I can turn my hip and use the top leg to trap her foot on the same side. I get the underhook in here, elevating my hip, going to the dog fight. I place my hand behind her thigh so she can no longer move the hip. I'm gonna circle her hip, and I'm gonna end up on the side control. For the sake of the exercise, I'm gonna let Dania turn to me, and she's doing the same. She's pushing my head, she's pushing my foot, trapping my foot with the top leg, getting the underhook on the same side, bringing herself up, blocking my hip with her hand behind my leg. She circles, and now she's back here on the side control, and we're just going to be switching positions like this. Trap the foot on the hook, come up, hand behind the leg, circle, side control, okay? Again, if you're not familiar with this, check out the other classes, the class that we did 2 days ago. We have the explanation there with more details. Just switching positions with each other, no need to be fast. 2 minutes on one side, then 2 minutes on the other side, and we can go to the position. Let's go, people. Okay, everyone, so I'm gonna show escape, and this escape works better with the no-gi, right? Because it requires some speed to it, and speed is going to be important in this one. Mostly when we're talking about escapes, some urgency is necessary, although because since your opponent has the control, your opponent is one step ahead. So to even that out, you're going to have to be a little bit explosive. And the situation that I want to get right now is basically blocking the hip. So I'm going to show how to escape, and then I'm going to show another variation from this position in which we can actually get a submission from this bottom position. So that is going to be again here on the crossface with this position here, and removing the head, the hair actually. I have the same problem myself, as you guys can see. So I'm gonna be here with Dania. First thing that I wanna get is this space here. Okay, so I wanna push the head away. And now this arm, I'm gonna bring it in, and I wanna bring all the way to the other side under my opponent's body. So you guys can see now that I have my forearm next to the hip. Okay, I wanna keep pushing the head. Okay, and very important, people, I haven't mentioned this before, but when you're pushing your opponent's head, try not to elevate the elbow so much, otherwise you give your opponent the opportunity, to push the elbow to the other side and trap it, so your opponent can trap you in an arm triangle like this. Okay, so when I'm pushing my opponent's head away, I try to keep my elbow low, so then I cannot push my elbow. And on the other side, I'm gonna have my forearm here blocking the hip. So now what I want to do, at the same time that I'm pushing the hip, I'm going to pendulum my hip. Okay, so you guys can see that my feet are in the air, all right? I'm going to hit her hip with my arm, and I'm gonna circle my legs all the way to the other side. So first I turn to her hip, and as I turn to the outside, I'm gonna push the hip, bring myself out in an explosive motion, and I'm here in front of her, back into the guard. What is important for us here, everyone? Why am I telling you guys to be fast with this? Because if you don't add speed to it, what is gonna happen is that during your attempt to escape, so I'm gonna show this again. So here, I'm pushing the head, I'm gonna bring my arm around. If you're doing step by step and you're doing this, now your opponent is on north south, and that is an even more annoying situation to work against. So make sure, guys, that at the moment that you bring your forearm next to your opponent's hip, that you guys explode as fast as possible with your hip. Okay, so I'm gonna do a complete motion here with the hip to the side. With the aid of my arm, I'm gonna be able to face my opponent. So one more time. I'm here with Dania, I'm blocking my hand under her chin, I push. I wanna bring my arm all the way under her body until I get to have this forearm here next to the hip. So now I'm going to turn my hip towards her hip. I'm going to pedal my legs and at the same time hit her hip with my arm. So as I circle my hip to the right, I hit her hip, circle away, and now I'm back in front of her with a guard, and we can keep working. Okay? Super simple, everyone. Try the most important thing for us is to get the motion. So at the same time that you move the hip, hit your opponent's hip so you can get this motion going on. Okay? Let's go to the variation, people. Okay, well, this position, I just want to give a disclaimer. It is a very good one. It works, but two things. First, if you're a very fresh beginner, this may not be the best position for you. So focus on the first one. This is what is important for you to get. But of course, you can try, okay? And second of all, this is a situation that might work, but keep in mind that the priority is here to escape. So if you end up getting this, it's of course good, but the priority is here is to defend and escape. So people, I'm going to do pretty much the same position that we did before. All right, so I want to push the head and I want to bring my arm around, and I'm going to do the same pendulum here. Pay attention, people, that my feet are in the air because I want to pendulum like this, okay, from one side to the other side. So as I turn my hip to Dania, I'm going to hit her hip with my forearm, and I'm going to turn my hip all the way to the other side. What is important before I do that is that I keep my arm next to the head. So same thing, I hit the hip, I turn my hip until my head is free, and I pull her head towards me. I want to keep my thumb here over the back of the neck. Okay? From here, people, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my arm through, I'm going to bring my bicep towards my hand, I'm going to squeeze, and I'm going to get the choke. Okay? As the other one, everyone, this requires a bit of speed, okay? So I'm gonna show this slowly, then I'm gonna show in a regular pace how this is supposed to work. But again, first try to understand the mechanics behind, okay? And then you guys can try to do it fast so you can make it work in a more realistic scenario. Okay, so then it goes to the other side, please. Same thing as we've been doing before, everyone. I push the head, I bring my arm here through, and again, hip towards her hip. I'm going to hit her hip and swing my leg all the way to the other side. As my head is free, I push her head towards me, okay everyone? Thumb to my chest. Because if I keep my arm relaxed, then it's free, okay? I want to keep this pressure right now so then I cannot bring herself up, all right? From here, my hand stays, my bicep meets my hand, and I'm just going to stay tight. I squeeze my elbow and I get the submission. All right, I'm going to show now in a regular speed how this would work. So again, push the head, hand through. I push the hip, swing to the other side, trap the head, already closing the choke and getting the submission. The most important thing that's why I'm talking about the speed. I think that the thing that is going to give you guys the highest chance of success in this position is the surprise element to this. People are not really going to expect that, okay? So that's why it's important to do this with some kind of speed. But again, first, if you're not okay with this because you're really in the beginning, that's fine. It should be a position more towards intermediate and advanced. But if you're actually trying to get this position, first step by step, try to understand the control, and then you guys can speed up. Okay? Let's train, people. Okay, everyone. So now, as you see, I'm being attacked. Okay, Dania is here on my side. She is basically working from side control, okay, guys, and trying to get a submission on me. But most importantly, try not to lose the position. Me, on the other hand, I'm trying just to keep myself safe, tight, and as I see the opportunity, I'm gonna escape. Okay, so you guys from the top, Dania start working from here any way you want. Okay, so Dania is getting a submission. I'm trying to defend. She's switching to a kimura. So if you guys on top get a submission, good for you. Start over. You guys can even switch sides so you can make it more dynamic. Right? On the other hand, people from the bottom trying to escape. Okay? If this happens to you, if you end up on top, good for you. Start over. Then it goes back here on top. And we're gonna keep working. Okay? So one of you on top for 3 minutes, trying to keep the position and to get a submission. Mainly from side control. Try to focus on the side control. Because if you guys can hold someone who knows how to escape, it's even better indicator that you guys are doing a good job. And people from the bottom trying to get a guard and trying to end up on top. One of those two options is going to be valid. Okay? 3 minutes and then you guys switch. Then you guys can add some regular rolls to it. Okay? Have fun, everyone. Take care. See you in the next class. Bye-bye.